everybody. Welcome. It's Coffee with Curmudgeons, and I probably got to fix that right there. I'm, hang on here, the headlines. Yes, I am Doc Normal, and over here on whatever camera it is, we've got Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't do my funny.
Good morning.
My funny thing.
Or should I say it today? Hola.
Hola, yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So last time, we had, was it Wednesday? We had microphone problems.
Sure.
Last minute.
Sure. It happens.
I got down here early. Everything's fine. And look at this. I'll show it to you right here. Okay, here's, well, it's black screen, but toolbar that won't go away. My Windows, my Apple toolbar. So my computer here that I have here that I do the show, the show intro and everything.
The master console.
Well, I look stuff up.
Sure.
It's acting up for me today.
It's Gremlins.
On the Cinco de Mayo.
It's Gremlins.
And here I was putting on some Cinco de Mayo music, some Dizzy Gillespie. So I like Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully this camera's right. So we did behind the scenes today for the first time.
Can we pump up a little of that music in the background here real quick?
If I can. Here's like
because it's very festive. You know, it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna color the whole show in the background.
See?
Yeah.
See? I don't hear it playing whatsoever.
Well, just imagine.
Good idea.
Just imagine there's some.
It's not playing now.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's what we need. Doc's laptop. Oh, I know why. Because I turned it down.
There we go.
There it is. There's a little Dizzy Gillespie back there.
So I'm sitting here off in my own little world before the show starts, and I hear this music, and it's going. Yeah. And all I'm thinking of, this is what you hear like in a restaurant, you know, and you hear talk over that. Hey, Bob, the salsa's really good here.
That's right.
That's what's going on.
It's Latin swing.
Yes.
Is what it is. Dizzy Gillespie. He did that Latin swing stuff in the 50s. As you know, you have a jazz show.
Yeah.
Some great music. He had a Cuban conga player from Havana.
You gotta have that.
And so that changed the whole band. So it was all like ding 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 ding. You know, and then I wanted to get some.
Put a little bossa in his Nova.
I gotta fix your camera. That's bothering me too. We got more cameras.
Yes.
We got more people. We got a lot of stuff going on.
You know what else is new today?
What's that?
Look behind the fern.
Oh yeah, I'll get that. Let me fix the camera though.
Okay.
So
should I stretch it out?
It's a slow news day, right?
Stretch.
Well, but yesterday was an eventful news day. Look, I'll just do
it was. Yeah, you know. I mean, with all the stuff going on yesterday, stuff's popping at you, bam, 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 like almost like every minute, right? You need a day to kind of recoup after that, you know, because it's the weekend's coming. It's Cinco de Mayo. People are gonna get loaded tonight. Yeah. So I mean, you need a day to kind of just chill out, right? It's like the morning after, you know. You had this huge night the night before. Maybe it was like disco karaoke night, and maybe you just had one too many Mai Tais. I don't know.
Mai Tais.
I'm not judging here. It's a judgment-free zone. But, you know, you may have had a couple Mai Tais, maybe one more, you know, what was that, Manhattan, and maybe you should have. And so you wake up, your head's a little muddy, you're like, oh my God, what is going on? It's Cinco de Mayo, I don't know if I can do this.
You really don't drink on Cinco de Mayo, do you? Mai Tais. No. It's margaritas, man, and tequila.
I know that.
And there's a lot of stuff going on, because I got stuff to talk about what's going on this weekend, too, in Portland, Oregon.
Right. But
we probably should throw to, before we get going here.
Yeah.
We got our intern. We actually have an intern.
Yes.
Jason's BS about interns.
Right. Because I had this silent army that was just off screen. You don't know if it's real or not. It could be real. You never know, right?
All right.
It's an army of interns. You know, they're like down, getting through raw data, crunching numbers, doing what they do.
So this is Jay-Z, our sports intern.
Yes.
All right. Say hi, Jay-Z.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Let's. We don't have your mic dialed in, but you know it's okay.
It's all right. We'll get there.
Yeah. Are you even on? No, you're not on. See, I didn't even put you on. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, there he is again.
Hey.
Yeah. He doesn't see. He doesn't even have a key light.
Oh.
Let's get one.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if you stick around, maybe we'll get you a key light. We'll see how you do.
Good. Hey.
We'll see how you do.
Memo to. There you
So
go.
yeah, so we got sports. Hi, so we got sports over there.
Right.
Yeah, you kind of in the
Sports.
dark. That's okay.
I'm thinking like we just call it's just the sports deck.
Yeah, sports
Desk,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's in his own sports desk.
Yeah,
It's a department, really, right?
I'm your go-to guy.
It's the go-to guy.
that's right.
There you go.
So now we see now it's totally messed up the show because
Has
now
it?
we don't know what to do. It's like we got a third
Has it
person
messed
that's
it up or has it enhanced it?
I don't know. I mean, the 20 minutes of BS is kind of the way we roll around here.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, come on.
Other people call it BSing. We call it witty banter.
We call it your go-to
Yes,
show for the assisted living crowd.
that's right. That's our huge A1 demos, man. We are huge in there. You know, right now they got the pureed tapioca right now, and they're thinking this is hilarious.
Yeah, instead of
Marvin, they got a new intern, Marvin.
God dang it, I got
Sorry.
chords all messed up here. Instead of
Do you ever get the feeling that he's like a mad scientist and he's over there and stuff's all
do you ever
chords
get
are
the
all
feeling?
going around
All the time.
all the time, right?
All the
Time, Jason.
All the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
What have I been doing this week outside of the studio? Web servers,
Yeah.
you know, so I can like make that NuzBox website real fancy.
Fancy schmancy.
I don't like here. Okay.
Okay. What's going on?
Oh, look at that. That's what happens.
Mm.
There's a little thing here. See, if I adjust my chair, I'll show you. My chair hits the button,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you saw that weird zoom in. That happened like the first week in our show.
It's magic.
It is.
It
It's totally random. It's
sucks.
great.
Anyway. No, we got like 2 more cameras here
We're
this
like in
morning.
3D.
Yeah, VR.
Right.
VR. That'll be next. You know what will happen, right?
Yo, there's gonna be green
It'll
screens.
be like you'll get a text like at 3 in the morning
3 in the
on a
morning.
Sunday.
Yep.
It's like Jason, we're going VR on Monday.
Right.
And you'll be like, oh, that's
the wife. She takes it totally in stride now, right?
Yeah.
The room's dark. Everyone's out cold, right? The cat's sacked out. The
Everyone's
dogs
out
are all
cold.
sacked out. And it's 3 in the morning, and I'll hear a bing. What the hell's that, right? Because I'm like listening to old time radio or show, or sometimes I'll have sports radio on in the background. Bing, and I say, oh yeah, something's cooking, something's going on. Doc's doing something. There's gonna be like a laser light show here, right? It's gonna be great. But
yeah. Hey, I got
I call him my Yoda.
3 in the morning, yeah?
Yeah, 3 in the morning. Bing. Sometimes maybe 4. Bing, bing. It happens.
I'm better about that now, though.
Well, welcome to the club. Get ready for the bings at 3 in the morning.
yeah.
Part of the
going-
group now, huh?
Right.
No, well, we haven't
What?
figured that out yet.
Yeah.
He's
bring that-
he's employee of the month already.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
We got
Man, dude, you're just giving it away.
I am,
So I get my own plaque.
This
jeez.
this land is my land. This land is yours. That's right.
Wow, this is a slow start. You know what it is. It's like when I have something like, oh, I can't get this toolbar away for some mystery
Yeah.
reason. My laptop plugged in. See, I cleaned it, so
Yeah.
you know when you're doing you're bad. Like when you're doing web, you're coding. You're like
Yeah.
you're
in the
looking at
zone.
code and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you open up the laptop the next morning, and it's like there's green goo coming off of it. From
Yeah.
the chili cheese chips that you were eating, like
Yeah. It happens.
He's already yawning. See that? Hey, you need move that mic a little bit closer into you. By the way, there you go. All right. So where are we going to start, Jason? Are we going to start with some of the headlines
Sure.
and then
Let's-
go to the sports?
Sure. Let's get people caught up here, man.
Yeah. So today, what do we got today? Today's kind of everyone's partying today, I think.
And everyone is like also
But
getting their
yesterday-
breath back from yesterday because it seemed like the whole news. I mean, one cycle after another. I mean, it's coming at you.
Yeah. So yesterday, the House. Now it's just the House, right?
Just the House.
It's not like the Senate. That's a whole different deal out
Yeah.
there on
Yeah.
the Senate.
Oh yeah.
So everyone's kind of freaking out because the House passed the Obama whatever.
Yep.
The repeal.
Yeah. Do we even know what's in it?
You know, the funny thing is, The bill was thrown up there so quick.
Gotta get
literally
first 100 days. I gotta get something done.
Yeah. No one has read it. No one. Well, that's not true. Some have read it, and what they're coming back with is it's not pretty.
No.
880 billion cut to Medicaid.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
Because the trend is Medicaid.
Yeah, the CBO has not even graded it yet. It'll be coming out early next week. Remember the first one? They graded it so bad that, if it was a student, they would be F minus.
Oh, yeah.
And they're saying that this one is actually even worse than the first one. So hold on to your hats, folks, or hold on to your health care, folks.
Well, we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But it's going to hit the Senate. See,
Jay-Z over there, he's young, dude. He's in his prime. He's all right.
Yeah, what do you think about health care?
Yeah. Is it something you think about, though, actively? Like,
do you even care?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at this age.
Right.
What?
Got to get my cup of Joe first.
I can.
Oh, see. You don't get a cup of Joe yet.
What is this? Is this like curmudgeon's hazing?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
it's that sort of fraternity, is it?
I haven't earned a cup of coffee yet.
No. I'm going to have mine now. Because that's what I do here.
Yeah.
I didn't take that one off. Ladies and gentlemen, Brightcast.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's doing the same thing down there, too. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... yeah. Well, you remember when we were young, right?
Yeah.
Like, you go do something, and it's like, mow the lawn. Okay, kid, mow the lawn in your bare feet. We'll give you shoes next time if you keep your toes.
Right.
That's just kind of like...
Right, and then you had when I was your age, I had to walk 5 miles to school uphill both ways. You kids today, you have no idea what's going on.
I had to mow that lawn with a machete and my teeth.
It was like a rainforest, boy, a rainforest.
That's right.
You could have used a pair of scissors, cut each leaf of grass.
Oh, you missed the spot.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it was when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Nowadays you have this newfangled thing called a lawn mower. A lawn mower? Really?
Yeah.
Remember those? Did you ever have to do, not you, Jason, did you ever have to do remember my grandma had one of these. Before they had lawnmowers that were, a Toro.
Yeah.
They had this like handle that went off and pushed, and it was 2 wheels.
Yep.
And when the wheels
had the little circular thing.
It had like a little circular blades in there.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. Did you ever do one of those, Jason?
Yes. In fact, they took it away from me one time because I was supposed to be cutting the lawn, but I was so transfixed by the spinning blades, I just would put it on an incline and let go just so I could watch. I'm like, that's fabulous.
I mean, you could chase a cat with it or something. It's like, because it's just like these bare spinning blades.
Yeah, right.
That are spinning as fast as you are going.
You're chasing the cat, you're playing the Jaws music as you're done it. Yeah, they took it away from me.
Yeah, no, it was just my grandma had one of those for her yard.
That's old school, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she had it was out here in Southeast. It was one of these small little places out here, old Southeast Portland, Woodstock, Steel, kind of that area. And so it was like a completely flat bit of land, sidewalk out in the city. It was a crappy old house, but it was a cute place. It was like right next to Woodstock Park and all that. You know, it was great. Yeah. Location. Now it's all like condos and high-rise
gentrification.
Stuff. Yeah. So
bistros and those.
It is. In Woodstock.
And those hipster hats.
I mean, that was like hardworking people. That's where immigrant families might go to get their first houses, maybe.
Right.
Right.
Maybe, yeah. You get the GI Bill, you get home from the war, GI Bill, you get yourself a little cottage, it's your starter thing.
Well, that's what those houses, they're little crack, I mean, a lot of them are being, and granted, a lot of them aren't that nice. They're not like the old Portlands and stuff, but we don't seem to care what we tear down, right? Oh, that looks historic, let's tear it down. Oh, that looks like crap, let's,
Yeah. Who's John McLaughlin anyway? Tear that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, these houses are little houses, and they were all built after the war.
Yeah.
Because there were so many people. Back in the day when people would start families, were encouraged to start families, buy homes, had full employment with retirement benefits.
Right. Yeah.
Back when America was great again.
You just got through a world war. Go procreate.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
No, well, we were at the top of our game.
We were a super powered. Damn it. You know.
I mean, just economic.
Yeah.
That's when they brought in all the GE.
And who's the guy that forgot to turn down his phone again?
Right. Well, that's
Hi.
okay. I mean, it's like it's kind of a technical nightmare here anyway.
Just
with other cameras and everything, and let's say, see,
we're gonna kill
is
this
Jason
phone right
reaching in his pocket?
What has he got? Yeah, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
I think when I was in the integrated media department out there at Mount Hood, it was the first day, right? Yeah,
boy.
Like, kill all your electronic devices. And what am I doing? Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
Anyway, oh God.
Yeah.
Was it? I was all like, lots of stuff going on Friday,
Yeah.
and now it's like.
Now we're just kind of like.
Now we're just like.
Now I'm killing my phone. Oh yeah.
When is it Jello time?
Right.
When is it? When do I get the tapioca and the juice?
Here's your puree.
Sonny, do you remember when they had the push mowers?
Right. Oh yeah, those movable blades. Yeah. That's how I lost a toe. It wasn't Guadalcanal. It was.
Is it just me, or did you always, like when you were going to high school?
Yeah.
This happened to me. You always had like one dude that didn't come in on a Monday morning, and it turned out he had a lawnmower disaster and lost a few toes over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
I had that too. And it was like, oh yeah, Jim's not coming in this week. He almost lost his foot.
Right. I had a couple.
I'm laughing about it, but
it happens.
It's
but
like
there's that one guy, right? There was a friend of mine in high school, right? His dad owned like some. I mean, for that time, it was a pretty big outfit, landscaping, custom design stuff. And it was really funny because on Mondays you would what fresh hell is he gonna bring in? So it's gonna be some sort of Vietnam flashback. Oh my god!
Yeah. He's like the guy, the famous guy who was working on the railroad that had the thing go up through his brain. Your friend comes in. Yeah, don't worry about this. This is just a flesh wound.
You can't notice this, right?
Yeah.
No, you're cool, dude.
I hit a screwdriver, kicked it out, and lodged in my head. I've got an appointment in 2 weeks.
I hate it when that happens. Another 2-week waiting period. Trump care.
It's okay. You'll survive.
Yeah, you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. No one will notice.
So we had the
chicks dig men with scars. Oh man! Happy Friday, everybody.
I thought you were going to say chicks dig guys with spikes coming out of their head.
That too,
Guar.
You could sell today those like a piercing. Yeah, I meant to do that.
I want to.
Right? You got a spike through your hair. Wow. Listen, dude. You're so cherry. You just got your what's they call that? Labia or whatever it is, pierced. No, dude. I went out and got a friggin' railroad spike through my friggin' head.
There's got to be someone in Portland that's doing that.
Oh, that's a new thing.
I mean, it's like you ever once. Although San Francisco was worse when I went down there a few years back. I was like, wow.
Frisco, man.
No, not as many tattoos, but just all kinds of metal coming out of your head. Yeah. And I'm like, interesting.
How would you like to be the TSA clerk in the airport at San Francisco and watching all these people go through the lines? They got railroad spikes sticking out of their heads. Yeah. Hey, look, Bobby's got horns.
Yeah, I don't get that because if you're a family, if you're going through trying to sit down in an airplane and you got your kid and you're just a mom and a dad, you just let's kill them, let's hassle them. But it's like, what is the person with the like you said,
what are you supposed to do, dude? You got a friggin' railroad spike coming out of your cranium. There's got to be some protocol for this. Let's consult the manual.
Exactly. So. What do you think? I mean, do you have? You don't have any piercings, do you? No.
Gotcha.
No, I'm clean. No.
You're clean?
He's clean.
So when are you going to get your first piercings and tattoos?
Yeah, what's going on there?
I haven't thought about it.
Really? Mm-mm. When are you going to... Do you want it?
Not really.
Jay-Z, where do you come down on the piercing issue?
I remember a few years back I had long hair down to my shoulders, and my
Oh,
stepmom.
You went through a rocker phase?
Yeah, I went through a
Sweet.
rocker phase in middle school, man.
Yeah. Nice.
And my stepmom, she made me a deal. She said, if you get your haircut, I'll pay for your ear piercings. And I was like, oh, I might take you up on the deal.
Really?
But I never went through. Nope.
Gotcha.
But I did end up getting my haircut, so.
So she talked you into the haircut without getting the piercing.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Those parents, man, they are tricky.
And then my cousins, Emily and Natalie, they always thought that I'd look good with ear piercings with studs and stuff. But
what? Huh.
Right. Maybe get it in one of those tattoo sleeves, you know.
yeah.
I don't
No?
know. Yeah.
Okay.
I got coerced into getting my ear pierced once.
Yeah.
And that was when you had to have it pierced on one side only. And
Oh, sure. There was
Whatever.
a whole sort of social convention with that,
this was
right?
before. This was actually during George Michael period. And I was like, I just with me and fashion and tattoos and.
Well, listen, you were the drummer of Tokyo, so I mean, you got to live up to that.
But I had long hair. That's easy. You
Yeah.
just grow. Look. Still can do it, right? You just grow
Sure.
your hair out. That's easy.
Sure.
That's easy.
Rub it in, why don't you, Doc?
Yeah, I know.
I can grow hair, look.
I know. Anyway,
moving on.
so it's just here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything fashionable to me has got to be easy. Like everything is an annoyance in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is like tattoos, piercings. You have to manage things and do stuff and everything. Yeah. I mean, you wear a chain. You could grow your hair out. Easy, jump in the shower, whatever,
Yeah.
But with the things, and I got to figure out what to put in here, and I got to clean this out and everything.
Right.
It's a pain in the butt, man. It's just like I don't have time for that nonsense.
Yeah.
And I was just bored, so I just did it, because these other guys are like, oh, come on, you got to do it. What are you? Well, of course, it was like, what are you scared?
It's peer pressure, right? All the cool kids are doing it. You need to do it.
I was already an adult. I know. I mean, like
18 Schmeating, I was 37.
Middle-aged guys going, what are you, scared of the pain? It's like, no, I'm not scared of the pain. I just okay, fine. I think my girlfriend liked it at the time, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then I just let it grow because I'd say, I don't have time for this. And it was still a time when, I did have like business meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God, like suit and tie.
Sure.
Go out to Chicago and meet with Exxon or something. I guess that was Dallas. Yeah. And so it was like, you kind of would get a boy. What is that in your ear?
What are they doing out there in Portland, Oregon? You get the thing sticking out of your ear.
So I just was like, and people are always like, oh, you should do it. It's like, nah. And then tattoos, it's like, what am I going to put on there? Right? Battleship Arizona,
Right, the little Popeye thing, or the obligatory heart with mom in it.
Yeah. That was like when I was growing up. The people who had tattoos, that's what they had, right? It would be like you'd get a guy working on a car, and he'd have like U.S. Marines, USS Arizona, with the battleship, the Popeye an anchor on your forearm.
Right? That's great, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like the time we're pushing the ground.
Right.
Anchors on your forearm, and you're like, oh, or it was always like a hula girl.
Right. Wow.
Let's
make her hula. Yeah.
No cultural appropriation there.
No.
It is Cinco de Mayo, too.
It is.
So happy Cinco de Mayo. That's one of my favorites. And so it was like 80, 90 degrees yesterday in our psycho weather. And then it started raining, and now it's just dark again in Portland.
But we're here to liven it up.
Yeah, we're here sucking away. Speaking of sucking away, did you hear this Stephen Colbert thing the other day? Mm-hmm. Tell us about that, Jason. What did Colbert have to say?
Well, he really kind of launched a firestorm by making. I can't say it in front of polite company, but it was something about
it clean on this one.
Yeah, kind of. Sure. PG.
Even though it's the internet.
It's not PG-13, it's PG-11 and a half.
Well, whatever.
But yeah, he touched off a huge backlash. And then, of course, you got the...
What did he... I mean, but he seemed to how would I characterize this?
Yeah.
So Colbert came on the other night
Yeah.
on his show,
Yeah.
and they bleeped it out because it's on CBS because you can't say what he said. But he basically suggested that the president, Donald Trump,
Yeah.
was, shall we say, orally satisfying the president, whatever you want to call him over there, of Russia, Vladimir Putin.
Right.
Would that be pretty much?
That's in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's in a neighborhood. That works. And then, of course, you got the obligatory from the right. They're like, you need to get fired right now, But instead of, that tells you how much the network has his back, because usually it's, maybe I went too far. Sorry. He came firing right back,
Yeah.
He came back and said, no, you suck and you need to be fired.
So I was really surprised because Colbert is kind of I like Colbert.
Yeah.
He's actually a devout Catholic, I believe. I think so.
Okay.
I think he's talked about that before, and he's always seemed kind of classy, maybe kind of in a modern Carson-ish sort of way.
Right.
Not Carson Daly, Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
For you kids. But he's always seen, and so I was a little bit surprised that it came from him, but he was from the Daily Show. Like even Jon Stewart would say something like that. But
Yeah.
Or even Jimmy Kimmel or someone. But I was surprised it came from Colbert. That was my only thing. I was just surprised it came from him.
Me too, a little bit, but I legitimately think part of it is because from the backlash of Kimmel.
Yeah.
I think maybe Colbert got a little upset and said, okay, if you're going to get mad at him, you're really going to get mad at me because I'm going to let it fly.
Now, this all happened at the same time.
Yeah, but Colbert's, I think his comment actually came literally the day after Kimmel.
I think you're right.
And I think he got kind of angry at the backlash.
That was like Monday. That was early in the week, right? Yeah. So Kimmel came on, and I like Jimmy Kimmel, and he came on, and he just had a baby. Just had a newborn baby, and he was like out. The baby had a heart condition. Very scary. Things like this happen with newborns. It happens. It's not uncommon. I think it was one of those, heart hole or something. I don't know what it was, but it's one of those things, and they have to rush the infant into surgery, and oftentimes they do wonderful work, but it's really scary as a newborn parent. Because you're freaking out if you've ever parented someone, and you're freaking out. You're just like, what do I do now? So it was very scary, and he got very emotional, but then he kind of turned it onto the healthcare debate, if I am correct, right? Yeah, and he kind of got the ire of. Is that a good summary, Jason?
Ire. Again, in the neighborhood, yeah.
In the neighborhood.
No, it's good. And, I thought, especially the reaction from that Joe Walsh guy.
Joe Walsh.
Not to be confused with the Eagles Joe Walsh, but
be surprised how many
he is a representative, and he, it was really just a crass and cold response. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry your kid's having bad health, but I'm not obligated to pay for anyone's health.
Wow.
And it was just, and everyone was, and Patton Oswalt just got on and said, basically, dude, you're just a douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's in that sort of comedic world watershed where, if you make fun of if you say something to someone, then I think that's where Colbert went a little,
So you think it was kind of interrelated?
I think to the point where I think he saw one of his own take some crap, and I think he just figured, okay, I'm gonna let fly.
Yeah.
And so
it was a heartfelt thing, and it was just it's all, I think it's all, isn't it really about these pre-existing conditions and kind of, hey, look,
according to the new AHCA or whatever they're calling it, I think
Trump care.
Yeah, I think it's all. I think at this point it's all about everything. At this point, whether it's pre-existing conditions or putting in some sort of high-risk pool, or letting slip the fact they're going to literally cut Medicaid by $880 billion. And of course, Medicaid. What is Medicaid, folks? Medicaid is poor people, old people, and very, very sick people.
Yeah, nobody wants to take care of them, though, in this country. I mean, look, when you're a country that has no problem appropriating money for bombs that are on jets and just like drop it. Hey, let's just throw about 13 of those puppies out there.
Yeah.
You know, I heard this thing. They need more, not these smart bombs, not like but more kind of just the dumb bombs that ride on the wings of your F-16 or your F-22 or whatever it is. You usually have like 4 of them there and
the old school Rambo bombs.
Yeah, well, they're guided, but they're the basics, right? They still do a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
So I heard a general testifying, and we need more of those and everything. It turns out sources say,
words on the street,
each one of those bombs.
Yeah.
You launch one of those bombs.
Mm-hmm.
It's the equivalent economically of strapping a high-power supercar Ferrari onto a jet and just launching that at the enemy. Can you imagine that? Economically, like we're talking about people dying or whatever, healthcare.
Yeah.
Think about like your F-16, F-22, whatever you want to call it, flying in there. It's got 4 bombs. You have 4 brand new Ferraris strapped to the wings, and you just drop them.
What's that coming towards me? Oh, look, it's a Ferrari.
That's how much this stuff costs.
Yeah.
And you got these guys that have no problem over there going, oh, yeah, approve the bombs, the Ferrari, It's like, wait a minute. We have no money for healthcare. Right. I'm sorry.
What really disturbed me, though, about the whole thing yesterday is the huge party they threw in the Rose Garden after it was over. These guys who literally voted to take healthcare away from, and this is now the conservative estimate is $24 million. They're saying that's on the low side.
I don't even watch the. Part of me is like la 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 la.
Yeah.
And I also, as you know, I spent my time with Comey. I mean, my quality time that I had, I spent with
Comey time,
because Comey's always kind of a fascinating little thing that goes on there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I kind of missed all that. That's why I kind of need to fill in. Here's how can I? Here's the bottom line for me, and we'll you guys can check me or fight me on this.
Yeah.
We have these people who are in Congress.
Yeah.
They are getting campaign money. Some of these people are actually well off. Some of them will be well off when they leave Congress.
Yeah.
Chafis. Hello.
Yeah.
And their health care is some of the best health care you'll ever get in the United States of America. All free and easy. This is why your senator is like 96 years old. Strom Thurmond, 100 years. Hey, remember when slavery was around? Those were the good old days, right? Remember Strom Thurmond, the oldest?
Yeah, he was like towards the end. He was like cyborg,
or something.
Yeah.
There's a guy who was elected during like slavery, the Civil War, man. But anyway, cracker. But anyway, I hate these guys. So I hate them all. Anyway, so here are these people who have the best health care. We'll keep them alive forever. They do not have to worry about their health care. No. And they're voting for the people that they're supposed to represent. They're just taking it all away from you.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Oh, yeah. So imagine this, right? You're on the floor down in the
I'm often on the floor, Jason.
Well, it's called
I'll
method.
be on the floor after Cinco de Mayo.
It's like method acting, like we were talking on Wednesday, right? Anyway, so imagine you're on the floor of the House of Representatives, right? And you literally just voted to repeal, the American, the ACA. The Democrats on their side started singing, no, 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 hey, goodbye, waving at them and stuff you screwed up, and it's like, I was watching, I'm like, of course, C-SPAN, the whole thing on there. I'm like, oh, that is.
They really did that. Huh?
They did that. And, of course, the Republicans were kind of looking over like, what? I mean, because, then the first thing when they came out, they said, these guys just didn't step in the old proverbial doggy doo doo.
Right.
They stepped in and then is presumed to throw, turn it into a turd fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see the midterms now, because a whole lot of them. I mean, now they're on 11-day vacation, right? They're going home. They're taking their little recess. How many town halls do you think they're going to be canceled?
Oh yeah,
They're not no way they're going to step into that, right?
Yeah, throw the bums out, folks.
Yeah.
Throw the bums out. Throw them all out. Doesn't matter if they come in and hey, I got something. No, you're out. Just wipe them out. Start over. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I hate them all. But anyway, so on my Facebook, my liberal Facebook, which is pretty much, I mean, it's just kind of like that's, I don't have a whole lot of people, which is a bummer because I don't like Facebook fights, but I do like diversity of opinions. Like we always talked about the good old days. Grandma pushing the dangerous mower.
Yeah.
GI Bill coming home from the war, and like the conservatives and the liberals being on the television. The William F. Buckley and Gore Vidal.
Right,
back in the days when you could do that. And not like scream at each other on Facebook and block. Could you imagine Gore Vidal and Will Buckley today? Right. Well, sir, I believe I will block you from my comments.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
They would
Anyway,
be so prosaic by today's standards, right? They just like, these guys are boring. What are they doing?
yeah.
Like,
But they were like. But anyway.
yeah.
But in Oregon, on my Facebook, this Representative Walden. Do you know him?
Ron Wyden?
No, not
Weldon.
Ron. Walden.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess he voted for it, and everyone's like, we're gonna get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
I should pull up my Facebook. I can show you some of the people.
Yeah.
Byron Beck and some other people were really complaining.
Right.
And this is a guy who I believe he canceled some of his town halls.
I'm sure he did.
So I think his sounds like
Mysteriously.
he might be on the chopping block.
Right.
There. I mean, obviously, like some other Oregon representative. I believe he was the only one too.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And so it's like, guy, wake up, with your state.
Right.
Wake up and drink the coffee in your state.
Well, the New York Times, at least they got it out on their website, right? Literally, like I think it was like 45 minutes after the vote is over. They put up on their website a complete list of who voted for what.
Good.
And they, put it up there on Main
They
Street.
should always do that. This is representative government, so they should always do that. So
Right.
So there you go. There's your healthcare stuff.
Yes.
Which kind of...
we'll be tackling that next Wednesday. I've got some good stuff coming down the pike.
Yeah. We have a political show that we do this kind of thing for. I was going to try to look here and try to tell you what they were saying, but... we can pull it up later. So what else we got going, Jason, in the news?
All right. I've tried to suppress this for a while, but I
Okay.
can't. I got this in my noggin and my brain box, and it just won't. We need to bring in Jay-Z here because I need millennial take on this, right? Because maybe I'm just too old.
Right.
Those friggin' $500 shoes. Jay-Z, what's going on, dude?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, is this the sports block?
Yes.
Yes,
It is.
yes.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
got 'em
Lonzo
up here.
Ball, from the Big
Who
Baller
are
brand.
these guys?
Lonzo Ball.
Alonzo Ball.
Who is he?
Who is Alonzo Ball?
Lonzo Ball is a basketball player, college basketball player.
Yeah.
Plays for UCLA, I believe.
Okay.
And his dad, what's his name? LeVar.
Okay.
He wants to sell his son's shoe. Now, keep in mind that Lonzo Ball isn't even in the NBA yet. He wants to sell his Big Baller brand shoe for, I believe, $220.
$220? $220.
Yeah.
I think the 220 wasn't that the slipper one, the open.
Oh, you were right. Yeah, it's the 220 for the
That guy.
flip-flop slippers. Yeah.
That guy.
And let's see here. It's about what? Close to $400.
Yeah.
Introducing. Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now, and it doesn't look
Just the
all that
shoe?
great. It's got a black outline, and then it's
that's
got
a good looking. That's a good
yellow
looking shoe.
interior. I mean, it's nothing special to me, you know.
No, I totally agree with you. It looks like looks like a black walking
Describes
shoe.
as a DeLorean finish.
A DeLorean.
What? Does like the
Looks like with black.
Well, no. When I think of DeLoreans, I think of
Silver.
the doors that come sliding up like
Yeah.
that. So what do they do? Is that how you
Back
put
to
the shoe
Future,
on?
yeah.
The little tongue comes out.
So it's kind of like if you just listen, it's kind of like black and it's
Yeah.
kind of like running-ish, and then it's got some yellow. That's a good looking shoe, though.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good looking shoe.
That's a boring.
shoe.
That's a boring shoe for
I like
$500, man.
boring shoes.
It better be light. It better have like an electric light show, like we see in the planetarium and stuff. It better have that. It better have sparks. It better have show tunes. It better be able to serve me a friggin' sandwich for $500. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's you know.
Yeah, there's nothing special about that.
I
you
want,
don't like it, huh?
Yeah, thank you. I want deli coming out of that shoe, man.
Jelly.
For $500, dude.
You know what's funny is that according to Champs Sports Gear,
Yeah.
they're selling Jordans. Now keep in mind that Jordan's been in the business for so many years.
He's still royalty, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's selling his shoes for $150.
Yeah.
You know, and this guy hasn't even got a sniff of the NBA, and he's.
What team is he going to be on?
Oh,
Is he going into?
You know, I've heard he might be going to the Lakers. I've heard he might be going to the Sixers.
Wow.
It's all who goes number one. So,
Right. So you think he is the number one pick?
possibly.
Gotcha.
You know, in my opinion, I think his dad has kind of ruined his career already.
Yeah.
His dad is a rule. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're right. I mean, my personal first reaction to it not only was, oh my gosh, 500, but wow, that guy, for a guy that's never even stepped onto a court in the NBA, that's pretty presumptive that he's the next big thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure some others would probably have a little bit to say about that. You know, maybe a certain gentleman in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, King James may have not so fast,
Yeah,
Junior.
I think Lonzo and LeVar, they got to earn their respect. So,
Yeah.
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 So what else are you following there in sports? In the sports block, what's going on? How are the NBA playoffs going? I think they're going as planned.
We got to do FM real quick. Jay-Z, what is going on over in the sports desk?
You know, so you're talking about the NBA playoffs.
NBA playoffs. Sorry.
And then I do the.
Wow.
So,
NBA.
I'm on.
We need the stabs though. I had the stabs for my old show at House of Sound at AT&T with the NBA playoffs.
NBA. Okay, go for it. I'll be
quite
quiet
an
now.
introduction.
I'm building you up, dude.
I'm on ESPN right now, and it looks like Cleveland is up 2-0 against Toronto.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You think they're gonna do it? No, you got the big baller there.
Yeah, I'd like to see Cleveland sweep. San Antonio, Houston, they're tied 1-1 right now.
Finally. Spurs brought one out, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Tony Parker, their starting point guard, he's been there for a while. You know, he went down with, I believe, an ankle injury, and it doesn't look good. So,
how's my Warriors doing?
Oh, you know those Warriors. They're the Warriors.
Yeah.
I believe they're.
They still sweeping.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
It's
As far as I know.
they're the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors.
What's the story, right? I mean, it's gonna be like it's gonna be
Stephon Curry. Sorry.
on the NuzBox.
The news box. Let's flash over to the NuzBox sports desk. What is going on this morning, Jay-Z? I think we are ready for a powder keg. It's gonna blow. Sorry, that's the best.
And you wonder why your mic wasn't working last time.
Just cut off, right?
On Wednesday, why suddenly it's like, oh god.
For the good of mankind, we're turning you down.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be good. Yeah, what is going on? What else is going on in the sports world?
You know, I follow the Ducks, the Oregon Ducks football team.
Huge, yes.
last weekend we had a really good recruiting weekend. We had the spring game, right?
Yeah.
Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. You know? And after that, about 6 what they call ESPN 300 recruits from high school, they committed.
Nice.
And that's a really good momentum.
Yeah. Hey, Taggart can he can recruit, man.
Yeah. He's got what I call an all-star staff who can really coach, recruit, and just be the leaders that Oregon needs them to be. And I was looking on Oregon 24/7, and they are actually in the recruiting rankings ahead of USC.
Good.
A high-powered, Southern California school who's always in the top 10 in recruiting,
Yeah.
So, I think we can have a really good year. A rebuild for sure.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking at 8-9 win season.
Good.
And,
yeah. That's your prediction. That's Jay-Z's prediction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe after that we got a 10-11, maybe even 12.
Nice.
I'd like to see Willie Taggart go to the national college football playoffs. So
that would be good. Yeah. Sweet Willie T, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a heck of a recruiter. Not only I thought that was such a fantastic grab for him, because you got this guy now that opens up the whole Florida market and the whole Eastern Seaboard market.
Yeah.
That a lot of people are comfortable talking to. I love his style. I love he gives that swagger, right? He brings that sort of attitude in, which
that energy. Yeah.
That Helfrich was just. He was milquetoast, right? He was just not really fired up. Of course, I'm not going to get started on the defense. Oh my God. But I am, for the first time in at least a few years, I'm excited again, man.
Yeah.
I want to see those Ducks.
And what I love is about Taggart is that he can relate to the people.
Right.
The old staff, they really couldn't do that because they were so old, and compared to the players that they had,
Right.
They can relate. And again, I really love the energy that the staff brings. They had picked up that defensive coordinator from Colorado, Jim Leavitt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's what, 50, maybe even 60 years old, and he brings so much energy. He's fired up, having 5-6 Pepsis a day. It's crazy.
Right. He's over there saying, yeah.
I mean, you're always seeing him with a Pepsi can, which is I guess great.
That's a sore subject for Jason.
Oh, I love Pepsi. I'm a Pepsi guy. Although I had to give up all pop though.
Sore subject.
Yeah.
Pepsi.
No, but
say Pepsi?
I'm excited though. I love the Ducks. I love that. I just want them to. Of course, I got spoiled. Right here, they are. You got Chip. He's rolling them up into the. I mean, even before the season begins, they're gonna win the Pac-12 North. They're gonna go. And I just saw that slide with Helfrich. That slow slide where it's. And it was just excruciating, especially last year. It was so painful. I mean, I don't think my TV's ever been cussed at more.
Yeah.
And I remember on the other show I do, we talked a couple of years ago. We talked to Vern Adams.
Sure.
We actually got him on there before. It was like in between when he had passed that last math class and was about ready to
join up with the Ducks.
Passed the last math class.
Right. Hey, that was a whole to do there for a while, man.
You need to get a passing grade.
Right. Yeah, because he was coming over from.
I can't. 1 + 1.
Oh, stop.
So let me ask you something, Jason. When's the last time you think the Ducks had a great defense, like that all-around shutdown defense?
Oh, boy. I think you're probably going to have to go all the way back to that Gangrene.
Gangrene?
Yeah. I mean, there was some good. I mean, they have had good position players. I mean, when you talk about Kiko Alonso,
sure.
Eric Armstead, just individual players, DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
But they never had that sort of cohesive. The whole unit is shut down. Legion of Boom stuff, right? Although I mean, I loved Walter Thurman back in the day. Even Uncle Cliffy for a while.
Yeah.
And I think though they need to breed that sort of almost Big Ten SEC-ish lockdown, shutdown, aggressive. I mean, I want to see whole-scale blitzing, man. You know, I want to see an aggressive defense.
Quarterback sacking type of defense. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, aggressive, you know, like and so unpredictable that, my gosh, you're into the offensive coordinator's head thinking, what in the hell are these guys going to be bringing next? You know, and that's what Oregon needs, that swagger, man.
Now, do you think that Jim Leavitt can bring that back to the Ducks, the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, he is a great coach of laying down sort of a foundation, and he's a huge guy on the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
And you have a role you play. This is what you do. You need to learn this, get it down, and that's the sort of coach he is. If everyone does their job, and he's also a great motivator. And when you're in college, I mean, that's what you need to do. You need to motivate those kids.
Yep.
You know, it isn't like in the pros where every guy on the defense is making $10 million a year, and they're motivated if they're in their contract year. But the bar was set so low under Pelham. And now, when they brought in,
Brady Hoke,
yeah,
from Michigan,
the Michigan guy, that the bar was so low that they were just so, I'm going to hate to say it, and I'm probably going to catch crap for this, but they were so god-awful.
Couldn't get any worse.
Couldn't get any worse. Yeah. It's much like the bar set for the Trump presidency. It's so low that, I mean, unless you don't have a pulse, you're going to do better than what it was before. But I think so. And I like... I just like the whole philosophy behind it.
Yeah.
The way they approach it. Taggart is a slick dude, and he is a great guy that he's a player's coach.
Yeah, exactly. And something that I really like about Taggart that I forgot to mention is that he holds players accountable.
Yeah.
And I think that's what pushes players to bring out the best of them.
I think so too, and I think it's a time that there's some more higher demands put on it. Because, for a while, you used to see, especially in Canzano's articles, all the kids down there just doing the craziest crap, and they're just a wrist slap,
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. I am excited, though, for the Ducks. I really, for the first time now, at least in a few years, my God, when are we going to get to some football, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's time for some payback.
Right.
Against the Huskies.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big Husky fan.
Go down into Seattle and put 70 points up in their house.
Yeah. Why not? And of course we need to thump SE. And I know that they've kind of fallen off a bit, but just for fun, let's go out and kick the snot out of Stanford.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's do that.
I think we won back-to-back with Mariota's last year, and then Vernon Adams' year.
Right.
We won by a point, maybe.
Right, yeah. It's
an interception.
Yeah, Stanford has always been Oregon's bugaboo, man.
Yeah. Got that monkey on your back.
Yeah.
Is what they call it.
Yeah. That's a big friggin' monkey, man. That's a big friggin' monkey, man. But, I'm excited for the Ducks.
How about the NFL? You guys got NFL news?
Cutler, right?
Cutler, going to be an analyst, I think.
Yeah, he signed. He's going the media route. Poor Jay Cutler.
Mm-hmm.
Great gunslinger quarterback. He's one of those old school rocket arms. He went to Vanderbilt. Came out. He played for Denver Broncos, and then signed with the Chicago Bears. Yeah, just one of those guys that just had the huge $1 million arms and maybe the 5-cent head. So.
Now they got Trubisky now. Drafted Trubisky. What's your take on that?
True what? I was when I saw the draft, because I get this whole draft day.
So the draft was,
I think it was like a week ago now.
No, I think
was it
so.
last week?
Last week.
Yeah.
We mentioned it.
Every year, they have
NFL
at this
draft.
time. Oh, I got my whole thing. I got my chicken wings down there. And I got my nice frosty beverage, and I'm hunkered down in the bunker, getting ready for some draft. The man cave, because I loves me some draft, right?
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, okay. So I get my old scorecard, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can see where this is gonna go. Kind of the Trubisky thing threw me. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just that's Chicago for you, though.
Chicago, yeah.
I don't.
Chicago.
Where do you come down on the Trubisky issue? But no, I mean, you had heck, I even scored Mahomes higher than Trubisky. I thought he was going to go off the board first, but yeah.
What about Watson from Clemson?
I thought that he was. Yeah, he went about no. Yeah, he lasted longer than I thought he was gonna. I pegged him at like early to mid round. Simply because I can see where a lot of the scouts would have been. How is his style going to translate over to the NFL?
Yeah, that running quarterback, and I think it was the same thing with Mariota. The question is, how are you going to be able to lead a pro-style offense when you're so accustomed to spread, up-tempo, no-huddle offense? You know what I mean?
Out of the shotgun, right? Yeah. I remember that was the huge thing. What's he going to do when he has to get under center?
Yeah.
But, I mean, Mariota's such a smart, innately talented quarterback that, it got over. But Watson, gifted athletically.
Sure.
I mean, the guy can, but we'll see. He's one of those guys that we'll wait and see on because, I mean, I remember when, that was the rage, right? I mean, you had Vic coming out. Oh, my gosh, he's a dual threat. This changes the game, right?
Yeah.
And people got sold on that. And a lot of the real runners, they've had a harder time. I mean, even guys with really phenomenal more success like Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, he's gotten banged up a lot simply because in college you can get away with that. You can get around the corner and you maybe when you hit that crease you're gone. But in the NFL, I mean, even the inside linebackers are they're running a 4.6 maybe.
Yeah, they're fast.
Yeah, and so
strong as hell.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Watson though. I mean, he does come from a decent system, and
coming off a national title win, yeah,
right.
He's got to boost his confidence. I think he was saying something that it would be an insult if Trubisky was picked before him.
Yeah. Well, hopefully now he'll play with like a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
And get out there and
just motivates him to be better.
Right, Trubisky. Yeah. Well, I know I'm giving the guy kind of a raw deal. I'm sure he's a very talented and likable lad.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. Man.
Now, who's your team, Jason?
I don't want to say.
You don't want to say?
No, I don't want to say. They haven't won since the last time they won the Super Bowl was 1992, and I don't want to say. It's a touchy subject for me. It is.
Get emotional, yeah.
It is. I'm invested in this team. And no, I'm a fan of the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
The Redskins.
Yeah. Well, when I was a young kid, right? I was watching football there, and I saw this guy. Well, who is he? His name is John Riggins, right? Riggo, man. I mean, and it like got seared into the noggin that as he's they're playing in the Super Bowl and it's like fourth quarter. They're against the Miami Dolphins, and he sweeps around the corner. It's like 3rd and 1, and the game is on the line. If they don't get it, it's over. And literally, he's running. He gets the ball, sweeps around the left side, and he's got like 3 Dolphins on his back, and he's carrying them down the thing all the way to the end zone. And as a kid, 7-year-old kid, I looked at it and I said, "God, I love you." And so that's what when I grew up a little bit and started playing the feet ball myself, he was the role model, man. So I was a huge Redskin fan, and they haven't won since. The last really true good winning year was RG3's rookie year, the 10-6 year. After that, I know we went like 8-8 when Cousins. How do you like that?
Oh yeah.
But, I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship. I love the Redskins. I'm not a huge Dan Snyder fan, and I like Gruden, although I think that maybe they hired the wrong Gruden. I know that's I'm being a little tough on it, but I expect more of the Redskins.
Now the Redskins, who did they draft? Do you remember?
Jonathan Allen, defensive end from your Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh yeah,
and he slipped down there. I'm like, holy cow, this guy's still on the board, man. Mm-hmm. And you got to take him when he's there on the Washington. I'm sure in the war room. They were jumping for joy because nobody expected Jonathan Allen to slip down that far.
Yeah.
And that was the really funky thing about this draft. When you throw in a guy like Trubisky into it, it literally recalibrates everything, and it kind of throws you off, your guard because you have this, okay, we'll do this guy, and, you kind of got it in the mode. But when someone like a Trubisky shows up, like, holy cow, what do you mean this guy's available? And so you got to reevaluate and stuff. But I love Jonathan Allen. Who's your team?
I don't really have a team.
No.
Although my dad, my mom, my stepmom.
Yeah.
So my dad's a Broncos fan. My stepmom's
I'm sorry.
My stepmom's a Oakland Raiders fan.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
And my mom.
That would be Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
The Sin City Raiders now, man.
And, my mom's a 49ers fan.
49ers fan.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like supportive of all three teams, I'm more of college football.
Gotcha.
That's my thing.
Gotcha. Outside of the Ducks, what's another team you like?
We'll start talking about college football?
Yep.
I'd probably say probably UCLA.
Oh, really? You're staying in conference, huh? Hey, interesting. Okay, I'm a Golden Domer myself. It's the whole Catholic thing, right? So you got to go for Notre Dame, So touchdown Jesus and all that.
Win for the giver.
That's right. That's right.
Did you guys do this fantasy football?
I did.
2017 position rankings, top 100 after NFL draft.
Oh, sure.
You guys seen that?
Yeah, every year the Anarchy Radio, we have a fantasy football league.
Yeah,
and
still talking about the Aaron Hernandez death and all that. That just gets nastier and nastier. By the way, that LeVar Ball, $495.
Oh, for his signature shoe.
Yeah. That's what the headline is on CBS Sports. $495. I think they're good looking though. I wouldn't pay for it. I'm like under $50, man. Yeah. Pay less shoes. Of course, they're out of business now.
Honestly, if you take away the yellow interior, they kind of just look like dress shoes to me.
Or
work shoes. They look like my work shoes.
Right, old man walking shoes. Yeah.
And they're black. What do you think my shoes? You're talking to a guy that wears Doc Martens 24/7, so I wear them to bed. It's like Draymond Green is doing impressive LeBron James impression.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Messi, soccer fan. You guys know do soccer. See, I do some soccer. He's one of the greats of
Messi,
the game.
Right?
Yeah,
he's an icon.
FIFA gives Argentina a big boost on this World Cup by lifting his ban. He was banned, and so there's Argentina's chances. Although last time I thought he said he was not going to play. I don't know.
He was done, huh?
Yeah. Bengals owner shares message with fans acknowledging risk of Joe Mixon pick.
Oh, yeah.
Where at with that? What's going on with that?
Well, Mixon, he had an off the field. Actually, he's had a couple of them, hasn't he?
I believe so.
And he's
not too friendly with women.
No, not one of these. So that's my problem. These guys. Who was the guy in the elevator? right?
Ray Rice.
Ray
Rice.
He apparently he knocked out his wife,
Oh.
fiance, wife.
He said, didn't he say he didn't do it? And then here's some
There's the
camera
footage.
Yeah.
surveillance film of him beating on his wife. I mean,
Yeah, it was-
Talk
And
about-
then Adrian Peterson taking a stick and beating his kid.
taking a switch, spanking his kid.
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's old school, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's what he said, right?
All right, get out behind the
that's
barn,
old
get
school.
that
It's
switch.
just old school. Hey, what are you doing? It's like they said, no, hang on there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Kind of roid rage thing, if you ask me. I mean, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, I think he
so.
was just one of those real. He was raised in a real old school sort of. Of course, Adrian Peterson is from Texas, so I mean, he I'm sure there was some Texas-sized whoopings going on when he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you just can't do that stuff anymore. And I understand the NBA did it. I think maybe it was a little too excessive because it seemed like it wasn't like I'm just gonna beat my kid because I want to beat my kid. It was more of a disciplinarian sort of thing. But it is 2015 or 2014. You have to.
It's the way you do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, back in our day when we'd get a daily beating.
Our
right?
daily beatings. Hey kids, it's 11 o'clock. Time for your beating.
Was it with the wooden spoon? Was that the way?
We had the stick.
Stick.
It was like a semi-petrified piece of like beach driftwood, right?
God,
When we saw the stick coming, dude.
It's not a stick, Mom. It's a rock.
I remember I tried to get crafty one time, right? And I knew the stick was coming, so I grabbed I think it was like green eggs and ham, and I shoved it down the back of my pants.
Yeah.
Thinking so when I hit it did that little drum beat. They knew something was up. They
This
knew.
is terrible.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
That and the square backside.
You can't do this in 2017. This is
No,
terrible.
you can't do it.
I know.
Heck, you can't even give the kids time out nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Especially if you're under a microscope, if the
well.
There are ways around this, though.
Well, okay, so there's a big difference between a kid getting a timeout and a kid getting beaten, by a stick. So
Right.
I mean, come on.
But there are ways around this. You got to create. It's called creative parenting. And what we do in the Allen household, let me tell you, I said, hey, little Bobby, of course my kid's name is not Bobby, but we're just gonna throw Bobby in there. Hey, little Bobby, you really messed up. Let's play a cool game. We're gonna call it Guantanamo.
Yeah. Oh God.
Next thing you know, we're waterboarding the kids. You get the sprinkler out. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm kidding. That don't
Cinco de
happen.
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh man. On
I'm
that
kidding.
note,
I'm kidding. I'm too soft on my kids.
Are there any?
Let them get away with murder.
Do you guys do the fights? Dana White. What is Nate Diaz worth with Conor McGregor? I don't know. You guys doing the UFC? Do you follow that?
No, I do not.
You don't?
Nah, not
So
really.
Speaking of corporal discipline and beating in the home, UFC.
That's
Anyone?
a great segue.
I kind of I don't know. I don't like the weird stuff where they're breaking people's legs, but I do like the fights because I grew
The
up.
submission holds, right, where they're just like tearing
No, I mean,
out of the socket.
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like, hey, I come into work and people be like, hey, did you see that one? It broke his arm clean off. It's like, yeah, I don't need to see that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I grew up on the fights, the heavyweight, the classics. I grew up on the of
course.
Ali,
Yeah.
Foreman,
Down goes Frazier.
Fraser, and so I kind of have
Mike Tyson.
I have a little just Leon Spinks.
Oh yeah, with the gap in his teeth
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up on so I like a good. I like a good. I watched the Ronda Rousey, which would watching.
Well, guys are watching around it anyway.
I didn't pay for it. Well, it lasted like
Hey, I didn't pay
12
for it.
seconds. This is the thing about pay per view. It's like knockout, you're
Right,
done.
yeah.
So
I paid $60 for this.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. We gotta look up Ronda Rousey and see what she's doing. I know it was kind of like she was kind of like after that fight and she got knocked out. And,
Yeah.
and she,
wasn't she thinking about retiring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she could do. Because she could do like Hollywood and stuff. I mean, you could take someone like that. And
Yeah.
you can go make movies. Go make action movies. You make way more money. You're not going to get the crap beaten out of you.
Yeah.
And
be like The Rock, go off and make your movies.
yeah,
Man.
exactly. So yeah, we need to catch up with what's going on. But then I think she said maybe I'll get back in the ring, but it was like I can't remember. Do you remember who took her on last time? She was just like, and it was like,
right,
this is over.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but
she was out there with her girlfriend jogging and stuff.
Right.
It's like, whoa, this was like a Rocky moment,
yeah,
right?
it's like Mr. T in Rocky 3, yeah.
Mr. T. It was like, oh, I don't think this is going to be good for you.
Right.
It's like, but. So I like the lady fights.
Speaking about getting back into the ring, I think they're talking about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what they've been talking about.
Have they confirmed that it's going to happen, or is it?
I think it is going to happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they keep saying. I mean, this is what the headline is here in Fox Sports. Dana White, what is Nate Diaz worth without Conor McGregor? I don't know. So it's like, I don't think UFC president Dana White would like nothing more than to book Nate Diaz in an interim lightweight title against Tony Ferguson. So yeah, I don't know.
So let me ask you this question.
I don't know if
McGregor ever took on Mayweather, right? Would it be UFC rules or would it be a boxing match? Because if it's straight up boxing, Mayweather's going to wipe the floor with him. But if it's a UFC match, McGregor's going to wipe the floor with Mayweather because,
Yeah.
As soon as McGregor got his hands on Mayweather, it's over because you guys never done that sort of.
See, that's what's confusing with me because it's moved on from the whole like boxing.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk a curmudgeon, when that happened, when that first started.
What's up?
Remember, wasn't it Ali once did the was it the Thriller? No, it wasn't that.
Are you talking the rope-a-dope?
No. It was Ali went up against a kickboxer once. I think
one of the sports exhibitions. He did that a couple times. Yeah,
and it was like, you don't mix your fights.
Right now, it was back in the days. Oh yeah, but back in the days, it was like a lighthearted for charity thing.
It wasn't a real deal. It was just kind of a exhibition because it was like a heavyweight rule boxer up against this new kickboxing martial arts kind of thing. Kind of, I guess, what the UFC really is today, right?
Mixed martial arts.
And it was pretty much like there's no competition here, guys.
No. Of course, remember they made a spoof of that in Rocky 3 when you had Rocky taking on Hulk Hogan. Remember that the Thunder Lips? Yeah, Thunder Lips.
But I need to, it's been so many years.
Yeah.
And I was going to watch the original Rocky because it was a great
movie.
Oh,
yeah. 1976.
We were talking about the James Bond.
Yeah.
You know what I need to do? Is I need to do a Rocky binge.
A binge.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the full on, like, how many were there? 5, 6?
6.
Wasn't there one recently?
Like,
I think.
Rocky.
Yeah, when he came out of retirement, he was like in his 60s, 50s or 60s, and came out of retirement to fight a 30-year-old heavyweight title champ. Yeah. Right.
There was Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4. Remember when he took on the Ivan Drago? Yeah. And then
that was Dolph Lundgren, right?
Right. And then there was the much maligned Rocky 5, remember, with Tommy the Duke Morrison in it?
Yeah.
And then they did a reset with it.
Stopped.
And they did a reset, and it's after that, I think it was
Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
And that's the one. That's the comeback one.
And then they did the Creed.
Yes.
Creed.
The offshoot, Apollo Creed, and that was not a bad movie.
Yeah, I heard that was a good movie. Yeah.
Who was in that? Do we
Creed.
know?
Yeah, I don't know. As a young up-and-coming actor.
Do you guys have a favorite Rocky movie?
I like the first one.
Yeah,
the first one was a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing you forget is Stallone was a struggling actor.
Oh, in 76,
filmmaker. I mean,
United Artists took a huge risk on that in 76.
Yeah, it was like a George Lucas thing.
Yeah.
And Rocky, the original Rocky, it was pretty much like an independent film. I mean, it was like put together, and it did so well critically and in the box office. And I got to tell you, as a music guy, as a musician, as a guy who likes music, you can't beat the Rocky Bill Conti wrote the Rocky theme, and then after that, Maynard Ferguson would, he'd put hits on his records. He made a big hit on the radio.
Yeah.
Instrumental jazz kind of, gonna fly now. I mean, not since Shaft. Not since the theme to Shaft, I think, had you heard something so cool as a theme to Rocky. Gonna fly now.
Right.
Gonna fly now.
Fly. Get in high
looking good, you gonna fly now.
Right. He's running up those steps, and then he starts,
Let me just... We haven't had a Colonel Sanders moment. Little known fact, one of Colonel Sanders' favorite songs, Gonna Fly Now.
But then, though, right, you got Rocky 3 with the the Eye of the Tiger, man.
Tiger, holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got Mr. Clubber Lang. I'm the fool. I'm going to rock. I want you, Rocky Balboa. Yeah.
See,
yo, Mick. Who's Mr. T guy?
I'll tell you what. If you ever want to see, and I know a lot of people are like, Eye of the Tiger, right?
Yeah.
There a few years back on social media, on YouTube, there was this class in Brooklyn or Queens, somewhere in New York City. That's all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like these kids in this music class, inner city, New York City, and they sing like this a cappella. Well, I think the music teacher is playing the acoustic guitar, and they sing "Eye of the Tiger," and it's like a whole class of these young kids, right? And it was like fame. It was like New York, and this little kid comes out and starts singing the lead. And you're just like mesmerized. You're like, these kids are blowing me away. Like, blew up the internet. People were like, okay, even if you don't like this song, you got to see these kids singing this song. I mean, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those iconic songs, get you fired up, dude.
But I mean, it was like the best version I'd ever heard of that song. And this kid just like, they're like that. They're just playing the guitar, the kids, and then all of a sudden the camera pans over and some little kids is just like, you're like, wow, man, look at that. Anyway,
and then Rocky 4, right? You got him taking on
break you.
Yeah, I must break you. I mean, Rocky is single-handedly ending the Cold War at the end of that, right?
Did you see? Okay, talking about Dolph Lundgren, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this can segue out of sports.
Okay.
So Bill Nye. The
science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Okay.
You're killing me, man.
12 minutes past the hour. I-5 is clogged. We'll be back right after this. Sorry.
What's it? Oh, that's right. Yeah. They're kicking in.
NuzBox. Live outside the box.
Oh,
what do you think?
Gosh. I think it's good.
Thank you. You guys are gonna stop me? I'll be doing this all morning,
So you're physically feeling
Jay-Z, what's going on?
Sorry. You're on fire, Jason.
En fuego for all you Spanish-speaking people, since it is Cinco de Mayo here at the NuzBox Studios, Southeast Portland. Back to you, Doc.
I just have coffee. Just like every morning, it's just coffee.
Jason, we might need a fire extinguisher to put
out the
fire.
Yeah.
Right.
They did this over there. So Bill Nye, the science guy.
Yeah.
People grew up with him and they like him and his bow ties and stuff. But he's and for my taste, he's a rather political dude.
He can be, yes.
Really kind of, and he says stuff that I'm like, when you're the science guy, I like to kind of more science it a little bit more, like
You science that up a little bit. Yeah,
you science that up a little bit instead of getting all like into political, because I where I stand. Mm-hmm. I'm not a climate denier. I'm not any crazy, but you know where I stand with people like Al Gore and these people, and so he's got this thing on Netflix and a new thing, and I think he talks about climate and all that, and I actually looked at the reviews, and people are like giving it a hard time.
Really?
Like, well, you're a Trumpster or whatever.
Bill Nye saves the world or something.
Yeah,
like that.
but
Netflix.
That's a TV. That's I think a documentary. I think this is like a series. And so, of course, the Trump side doesn't like it. So people started comparing on, like, Twitter, Dolph Lundgren, and I don't know where this came from, Dolph Lundgren and Bill Nye. And it turns out, because Bill Nye's qualifications are he's an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He was not really a hard scientist. He was an engineer, I believe, at Boeing and whatnot. And there's this big debate: is like engineering versus science, engineering versus science.
Yeah.
Engineering really isn't science, but it's a consumer of science, and vice versa. That's in theoretical. It's the difference between Spock on the bridge, fascinating, and Scotty going, I can't change the laws of physics, Captain.
Gotcha.
Applied. So he's always kind of gotten a little. And I don't want to trash him too much, but I'm kind of in the middle of this whole Bill Nye thing. But it turns out they got Dolph Lundgren and Bill Nye, and I have no idea why this came up. Turns out Dolph Lundgren has some advanced degrees in chemistry.
Wow!
He went to the University of Washington.
Wow!
UW.
Yeah, and so people were like going, well, actually. Dolph Lundgren, the action actor, fighter dude, is more qualified to do science than Bill Nye.
Right.
That was pretty much what came up. And Snopes kind of looked into it, and they kind of said, well, yes and no, but it kind of turned out Dolph's got
some chops.
Yeah, he's got some chops. He was actually I think I want to say a chemist.
Wow.
Chemistry. And he went to UW. Yeah.
A chemist major.
Well, he got some degrees. Where's he from? Do we even know? He's from somewhere out there.
Eastern European country?
Yeah, somewhere from the Dolph Lundgren countries. The
Lundgren area on the map.
He kind of did more study and stuff when he came to the U.S.
Yeah.
University of Washington. So there you go.
Gotcha.
So that was kind of my tie-in to get it back to climate science. No.
I will give you another instance of like a actor that is a scholar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
RoboCop, Peter Weller. Turns out Peter Weller is like I think he's now a professor of history up at Syracuse.
What?
Yeah. He gave up. He gave up Hollywood for that.
Peter Weller?
Yeah, I think he's got like a PhD.
Now, Peter
Weller.
Last time I saw him he was in one of the newer Star Trek movies.
Yeah, he still does some bit parts.
Second, they got these new Star Trek movies with a new cast that plays the old Chris Pine and Zoe Salana and all of them. He was in the second one. If I remember Peter Weller. Yeah, he was kind of the heavy. It was good too. I mean, Peter Weller. God, you know what I did?
Peter Weller.
Going back to all the old movies like Rocky and stuff. One day I had been so long. I had to watch the old RoboCop.
The very first one.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Which pretty much I was like, it's 2017 in America. I don't see. This is a documentary.
Where is my RoboCop? I was promised a RoboCop. Heck, look at Back to the Future.
It was when.
Although did he get the Cubs right, didn't he?
Yeah, they did. They did. The only time I was watching baseball last year, but we'll talk about that. Yeah. It was Miguel Ferrer, Jose Ferrer's son, who was an actor. Mm-hmm. One of his breakout character roles was in RoboCop. He's the upstart kid who's trying to screw Ronnie Cox. Yeah. Who's the CEO, and he gets killed by the dad from the '70s show.
Oh,
remember Red?
Yeah,
Kurtwood Smith.
Yeah,
Kurtwood Smith, who's still around and doing a bunch of stuff. Red from the '70s show is a hitman in RoboCop. Oh. He's the guy who comes in, and Miguel Ferrer is doing cocaine with some prostitutes in his dojo and
doing some bumps.
And Red takes him out.
Wow!
You wait for him to go, "Hey, you dumbass!"
Right. Stands over a lifeless corpse, dumbass.
Oh, I love Red. You ever watch the '70s show, Jesse?
Love the show.
Yeah.
Did you like that one?
I did.
Yeah. Red Foreman, played by actor Kurtwood Smith, who's was in a couple Star Trek movies, and that guy gets around, man. Mm-hmm. Good actor, but he plays a hitman in RoboCop. Have you ever seen RoboCop?
No, I
it's
I need to.
Old action,
old school, yeah.
Old school. Still violent though. Still a little violent. I mean, because it's like, and it's so '80s, right?
Yeah.
It's always. You know what? I like the portrayal of these movies, and RoboCop does the same thing. He goes in there. This is before he's Robo. He
Yeah,
goes in
he's
there
just cop at
with
this
Nancy
point.
Allen.
Nancy Allen.
Great.
Yes.
She was in a lot of stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
Loved her.
Yeah.
And they go in there, and they're in like old Detroit in a warehouse, and it's the gang, right? And you ever notice the gang's always like, I got a shotgun, right, Jason?
Right,
it's
right.
always like crazy. Like, and you're like, it may be more menacing and less, Joker crazy.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
Let's go kill that guy. And then, of course, they, this isn't really a spoiler, but Paul kind of gets himself into a little tizzy, and then all these guys have guns, and they kind of like blow his body parts off.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, at the time, it was like, ooh, that's kind of gruesome. But it's kind of to me, it's kind of it comes off when you watch it kind of like kind of a trauma, toxic adventure.
In parts, yeah.
Yeah.
In parts, yeah.
But anyway.
So
It's a good movie.
Not only RoboCop, homework. Okay, you ready for this? You guys got to go back and see a movie called Action Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jax.
Carl Weathers,
Who was Apollo Creed.
From
Rocky.
Classic movie. It's got the bad guy is the guy who played Coach in the TV show.
Chris Nelson? Was
Yes, Christy Nelson.
Not Chris, no. Yeah.
Something T. Nelson.
Yeah.
Christy Nelson.
I think
right,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie, Jesse?
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. I don't think.
Come on, what do you...
Yeah, I was not a part of this. We got to catch up. We think of this as kind of like a intern screening.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trust me, this whole episode is an intern
screening.
I was watching the movie Troy
Troy.
just the other day.
Brad Pitt.
With Brad Pitt, yeah.
What is this movie? I don't know
Is
this movie.
This is
a new
Trojan
movie.
Horse.
Trojan Horse, Hector.
That Troy.
Yeah.
I mean, like history, like as
Yeah,
in
and
Greek.
I realized how much
Trojan
I
Horse.
missed it, and so
You like that movie?
that'd be my answer.
How old is that movie?
I think,
A few years old.
Several.
Yeah.
early 2000s maybe.
Yeah. You like history? You like
I
history?
do, yeah.
Ah, see,
Yeah.
that's good. See, that's
Yeah.
you passed that. You
Excellent.
passed that question on the test, right,
Excellent.
Jason? Right?
Oh yeah. He gets the
You
check.
gotta like history, right?
Yeah, I'm in history 203 and
Look at that.
Clackamas
What
Community
is that?
College.
What is that?
It's 20th century history.
20th century.
Learning about the
what is the biggest surprise that you have come across in your history class? Like something that you were like, I did not know that.
Yeah, I would just say how involved we were in World War One before we even got into any of the action. Like how we lent the British money so that they could buy supplies from us, and how that benefited the U.S. economy. And I thought that was just amazing. And then I was really excited to learn about the Roaring '20s, the Great Depression,
The Jazz Age.
the Jazz Age. That was all fun. Prohibition, yeah.
Well, that's when you get the some of my favorite stuff in history, just kind of like the Western and the cowboys, is the gangsters, the Al Capones and all that. I mean, it's terrible, right? People died. There's a lot of violence.
But it's still interesting.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just is. I mean, it just is. Al Capone.
So if you guys could go back in time, what period of time would you go back to?
Ooh, intriguing.
Oh, now the intern's asking us questions.
Well, it's only right. I mean,
how did we need to?
Who does he think he is asking us questions?
Okay,
it's cool. It's a democracy. He is Employee of the Month, so we have to kind of.
Oh,
that's one of the perks,
Going back. Well, what's yours?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's yours, Jay-Z?
Probably the 40s if I could avoid the draft.
Let me explain that to you, Jay-Z. You go back in the time machine. I don't think you're avoiding the draft.
Yeah, there's no way.
You're going to be in theater there.
Yeah.
Where would you hope to be in theater. Now, assuming you went back in the 40s, it's like that. There was even a TV show recently about that. There's always time machine TV shows. There's one Timeless,
good
right?
show.
They go back in history.
Yeah.
So you're in Timeless now. Boom, you're back in the 40s. Sorry, you passed the physical. You're going to World War II.
Yeah.
Where would you rather be stationed? Europe or the Pacific?
I would probably have to say the European front.
European.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the Pacific was so hot and just
miserable.
you know.
I agree with you actually.
Yeah.
Although then you had the harsh winters of Belgium and Europe, aka the Battle of the Bulge.
Right.
I mean that was hell on earth.
Or what? Stalingrad.
Well, that was Germany and Russia.
Yeah,
so.
but still, I mean,
that would mean he'd have to be. I was assuming that he'd be transported back in time as an American.
The American front.
It would be Twilight Zone if he were a German. It would be like,
what is this?
Well, little known fact: Jay-Z, your great grandfather, actually was at Stalingrad.
Yeah,
I can tell. We can fill you in on that later.
There you go.
And survived.
There you go.
Believe it or not. Crazy times.
Doc, your favorite historical moment? What if you could go back in the Wayback Machine? What would it be?
You know, my history, high school history teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I love the guy. He's really great. I think his name was Mr. Heller. I think that was his name.
Yeah.
He was a Vietnam vet.
Mm-hmm.
And he was because he was drafted. You know, just like. And he became a corporal because he could type and do all the paperwork. And he said that was my best setup because I was college bound and do paperwork, know how to type and stuff. Less carrying a gun, more carrying a typewriter and walking around with colonels and stuff and and being safer during a war. He's like, that's where you want to be, or be in the band, right? That was another thing. If you play an instrument, try out for the army band because less guns, more bugling. But he really had a good perspective about that. But and that was one of his things because you want to kind of stay alive when you're in a war. So he's in Vietnam, and I think we had this discussion like. Wouldn't it be interesting, like the Romans and like the Persians and all of that? Mm-hmm. And he said, look. And at that time, Vietnam was pretty much the most modern conflict up to that time.
Sure.
Of course, later. And he said, here's the thing. Compare Vietnam to any other battlefield that you ever saw in history. You're out there with the Romans. You're out there with the Persians. You're out there, doing those old school wars. Yeah. You're getting hacked to death on the battlefield, laying there for hours on end, bleeding out and dying, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Vietnam, you get shot and you're injured. Huey comes down with a medevac team, you get medevaced out, and you have a chance to survive. He said, everyone thinks going back in history is a good thing. It's like, it's not. Trust me, the time you're living in is the best time you can live in. Think about it, the Middle Ages, the Black Plague. I mean, any time that lacks medicine, you can get seriously injured. Most injuries you would die from back in the old days that you can live.
Sure.
And so even though you think the times suck, and even if you don't like the healthcare and the president and all that stuff, we're still debating having healthcare for people.
Right.
That was not a debate in the Middle Ages. The debate in the Middle Ages was don't drink the water, just drink the ale because the ale doesn't have bugs in it.
Right.
It's not going to kill you. The rats aren't going to bring the bubonic plague and wipe out your little town there. So I'd like to go back. I'd like to go back and see a Beethoven concert. Maybe even more. I'd like to check out some of those guys. Rome would be interesting. It would be interesting. But I mean, have you ever seen the movie Caligula? The unrated version?
Long time ago.
I saw it in college, actually. I'm just his age. But it's I mean, you pretty much. It's pretty harsh back there. And even during World War II, like you're talking about going to the South Pacific and getting like malaria or something.
Yeah.
And famously, a lot of the troops in the South Pacific and the Americans, of course, had some of the best health care, obviously, but still got really deathly ill. You could just get sick in the battlefield and be like, I have a fever, I'm sick. The Battle of the Bulge, the Dardanelles, one of the great. I mean, this was horrible for the Allies.
Yeah.
If you look at the Germans, Hitler's army invading Russia, Stalingrad. I mean, these were horrible conditions. Let alone death camps and POW camps and all that.
Sure.
I'm more wanting to go into the future. I'm always like, get me out there where my brain's augmented by computers and stuff like that, and I can live forever.
You're like the Borg.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. There. See, it's always the grass is always greener.
Right. Yeah.
Did you know that before Hitler committed suicide? You know that, and he told his generals to wipe out the German population and blame the loss of the war on Germany itself.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
These were real swell individuals.
Yeah. But in fact, the generals, they declined to do that, and they just surrendered.
Well, I think I think there's even a movie, I believe, with Marlon Brando. There's been like Hollywood movies, because Hollywood after World War II made a whole bunch of movies about the war and all that stuff. Hitchcock even, and there's the general who had occupied Paris, France, in the Vichy government and all that, and the head guy who was charged. I mean, Hitler actually ordered him to raise, which is level, Paris. And the general, even though he was a Nazi German general, loved Paris. I mean, that's why he was there, and he didn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's why Paris did not perish in the war, but the orders were given to destroy Paris, France. So you can imagine that, right? I mean, the atrocities of war.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, meanwhile, in North Korea, we got our buddy. Have you seen this, Jason?
Yeah.
This is breaking today.
Okay.
So it's usually overnight. North Korea CIA plot allegation full text. So this is coming straight from North Korea.
Yeah.
Straight from hell. It's Spinal Tap.
Dateline, North Korea.
North Korea is accusing the U.S. and South Korea of plotting to kill its leader, Kim Jong-un. Here's a full statement from the North Korea Ministry of State Security. I don't have it in the original North Korean, but the last-ditch effort of the hostile forces, taken aback by the strong spirit of the DPRK, dashing toward the final victory of the cause of Juche revolution, has gone beyond the limits after reaching the extreme phase. I don't even know what that means translated. The recent hysteria about beheading operation, that's in quotes, and preemptive attack openly staged by the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppet military warmongers at the doorstep of the DPRK is just the tip of the iceberg of these moves. Central Intelligence Agency of the U.S., the Intelligence Service of South Korea, hotbed of evils of in the world, hatched a vicious plot to hurt the supreme leadership of the DPRK, and those acts have been put into extremely serious phase. It just goes on and on. I don't even know why I tried reading that.
Yeah.
I like their main propagandist lady who reads the stuff. The sound bites are amazing. But anyway, so they're accusing the United States and South Korea of trying to bump off Kim Jong-un. Maybe they are. Sorry, fat boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It's believable.
So what do you? So we talked about history. What about now, today, South Korea? What do you think? What's the word on the street there in college?
Yeah. What's going on?
I mean,
what's the campus scuttlebutt?
Worried?
Yeah, you could say that.
Like North Korea? What are they worried about? Probably healthcare and stuff. It's like probably.
Yeah, it's just we're just waiting to see then who makes the next move?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what do they think, though?
Well, I've asked around, and people are worried now. They got nuclear weapons and stuff. Are they going to use it on us? Are they going to bomb the mainland? Are they going to bomb Hawaii, Japan, South Korea,
Portland?
Right.
Yeah.
West Coast? So, it's just a wait and see kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the deal with Russia, Syria, and the bombing their own people and stuff. And we just got a lot on our plate.
Yeah. But this
Right.
week, just this week, wasn't there a call between Trump and Putin? I mean, they kind of
Yep.
what happened there.
So they kind of shook hands, and it's okay now.
Well, I think the call was that they agreed to meet, right?
Yes.
Probably like I've got my planner open here. How's Tuesday the 5th for you? No. The 17th? I've got time in the afternoon on the 17th. No, but they're talking about meeting.
Yeah.
So, do you really? I mean, is everyone really that worried about Russia?
I mean, it's not like they're freaking out, going out of their minds.
Yeah.
But if you sit down and have a conversation about them, they'll give you their honest opinion and their thoughts about what's going on. And
I think a lot of it is our own. Those guys who want to take away your health care, but buy the Ferraris to launch off the F-16s. I think it's a lot of propaganda. I personally don't see us. I don't see anything happening between the United States and Russia just because of the history.
yeah,
I mean, the Cuban Missile Crisis was close enough, and we're far
Yeah.
historically. I don't know if you got into this yet. The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Not yet.
We talked. Jason and I talked about new information just in the last 5-10 years about how much closer to a nuclear war we came than we actually even knew. Like new documentation that it was classified about Russian
Came down to a
submarines.
Russian submarine skipper.
Already ready to give the order to launch a nuclear torpedo,
Right.
which would have started a nuclear war.
I mean, the executive officer kind of we got to stop this.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like, where would we be if that happened back then?
Probably we wouldn't. So
Yeah, either that or we'd be glowing.
yeah, but
Glowing
I don't.
in the dark.
It would be like Mad Max,
Right.
Yeah.
Thunderdome.
Right.
I don't think we're there, and I don't think, even though there was some, I get skeptical what I read in the news or what senators like people like John McCain and Lindsey Graham have to say out of their pie holes because boy, they love that military, because really it's money. It's money. It's corporations who make this stuff, who want their money. Give us the money. And so if you're in conflict, if you have stuff going down, and there's a lot of conflict. We never talk about what's going on in Yemen, for example, and that's a massacre. There's all these things. So I tend to be pretty skeptical about the Russian thing. I don't see that happening. I mean, China poses as much of a threat too, and with this thing, but I think oddly enough I don't know. See, the whole Trump thing, I mean, we're so new into this Trump presidency, this era, so it's hard to say. Hindsight will go, oh well, we saw that coming, but I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that Trump would really go far into conflict, like with the Russians or whatever.
Like collusion and stuff?
Well, no, I don't know. This opens a hell of a can of worms. I mean, it's like when we're going to bomb chemical weapons and we're going to go launch those, Tomahawks or whatever the hell it was on that thing. Let's call the Russians and make sure, hey guys, in about 48 hours we're going to launch this stuff, so just get your stuff out of there because we don't want to start a war with you. Right? Come on. That's how this is done. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of time. So I watched this Comey thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of military law and order, I mean, it was his big quotes were they of course they're grilling him. The Democrats are grilling him about. He came. He sent a letter. He said, "Hey, it's all the Wiener laptop." And literally, I think it was Lindsey Graham,
right,
who said, "Well, there's no Wiener statute, is there?"
Wiener.
Well, the thing is okay. So here's Comey's. Let me give you his defense.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this was the same week that Hillary Clinton came out and said Comey was. I take full responsibility, but Comey, the Russians hacking, it's the whole litany of here's why I lost. I'm a girl, I didn't say girl, woman, okay. But anyway, just the whole litany of, but I take responsibility. Forget about our Midwestern strategy that wasn't, and bad advice. Anyway, so here's what he said. He said, we were doing the investigation. He testified under oath to Congress that the investigation was over and that nothing's going to be filed, right? Then he said, there's Uma Abedin and her crazy husband, Anthony Weiner, who they're investigating for child things because he's sending pictures and whatnot to everyone in the world. Every man, woman, and child has an Anthony Weiner picture. I don't know. Whatever.
Right,
this guy's, and so they took his laptop and they're investigating that, the FBI, and then they found this whole archive of emails from the Secretary of State because it was Uma Abedin's computer, and so then they opened the investigation. So he says the guys came to him and said, "Hey, we found the metadata. We found these emails. We think there's stuff that we missed last time that we couldn't find or wasn't given to us. So we want to just look into it." And so Comey said, "Okay." So then what was I going to do? Tell Congress? I already told them we closed the investigation. So do I now we're going to reopen the investigation. So I sent a letter. He said, I didn't just come out. I sent a letter and told you about it. Then they looked at it. Then they said, there's nothing there. So then I came back and said, okay, there's nothing there. That's basically. So he said, if I had it to do all over again, I'd do it. He said it made him nauseous because of the effects on the campaign, how it could influence. And of course, Republicans are like, and Democrats are like,
right.
Feinstein and company. So that was kind of his whole thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I think we all it had a look. To be fair, it had a bearing on the election. I think to some people, not for me, but for some people who may have been undecided. But do you think? Look. Do you think at that was the October surprise, right? That was late October that came out. I mean, the timing was awful for the Clinton campaign.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it had that much of an influence that there were that many people that were that undecided to go Trump, Clinton, Trump, Clinton? I mean, don't you think people were pretty much decided on that?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, we'll be debating this for years. There's probably no answer, right?
I can see that it may have been somewhat of a contributing factor because I think there probably was some that are one of the number one things that through the whole campaign was, my God, it's the best of a bad lot, the lesser of two evils. You heard a lot of that.
Yes, exactly.
And I think I can see some people that may have been on, I guess I'll vote for her, but I don't really think, what do you mean? Oh, now I can't vote for her.
You think so? Yeah.
And I think instead of tilting one candidate and the other, I think it may have, I'm just going to stay home.
Yeah,
because the vote. I mean, you could see a lot of, especially in the urban areas.
Was that what happened in Detroit, like in Michigan, and those places, Wisconsin, which is where Hillary Clinton famously lost and really kind of lost the election?
And that was really, I mean, the Trump campaign freely was telling you, this is part of our strategy. We are going to muddy the water so much and make it so ugly. You don't want to don't even want to be a part of it.
That's politics.
That's
politics. How they run that game,
right,
baby. That's how you win you get down in there. But I agree with you. I'm like right there. Contributing factors. Maybe I think you're right. Maybe people decided to stay home. It seems to me like this is not going to end. We're going to be talking about this through the 4 years, and it's going to be Comey and this and that with Clinton, and then the Russians, this and that with the Russians, and it's just going to be back and forth. And I really don't think we're going to learn anything new. I don't think there's anything that's going to come out. I really don't.
Yeah, I think if anything's really saucy, if there's something really inflammatory and saucy, we'll never see the light of day on it.
You would have to have Vladimir Putin sleeping in the bed next to Melania and Don or whatever. Maybe separate. Maybe he's in the spare room or something.
Down the hall.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I just think, when I heard the whole Clinton part, I was like, come on, guys, amateur hour.
Yeah.
I wiped the server. I had the email thing. I had the personal email server right here. I got my own. I should have called it the Clinton server. Registered domain.
But next thing you know, if you say that, they're going to be people in suits and sunglasses showing up saying, let's see your server, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I just happen to have set up a server here to do development webby stuff. So. But anyway.
2 British papers, The Guardian and The Independent.
Yeah.
And I think it's also mildly intriguing that it's not out of the American press, it's out of the British press.
Well, you're always going to the British press.
Right. 2 articles today. Basically, the theme of the article was we talked to a senior source in the Senate and also the House Oversight, they're doing it, and the gist of the story was they've already established the fact that there is collusion. They have the proof.
Yeah,
and
isn't that though really the going after the Michael Flynn stuff there that they kind of like?
Yeah, Flynn, Carter, Page, whatever his name is. Yeah. But I think it's.
They were giving speeches. It was I don't know.
I think but I guess they were actually getting coordination between the WikiLeaks leaks and a kind of a coordination of, okay, this day this stuff is coming out, so we're going to go on these shows and hammer it home, and kind of a coordination.
I'd have to look into that. I have a harder time with the WikiLeaks coordination than I do the influence peddling. And here's why.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt Assange is kind of off in his own thing. Now, I could be wrong about that, but one thing is that we know that the Russians, for years in the Soviet Union, their playbook has been to influence business and business leaders, and that this is just part of the deal. This has always been. So we're aware that we know about that today with CIA. That's always been a thing, and of course who do we have as a president? A business leader, right? So you're going to find all these ties and all this stuff. The WikiLeaks thing is interesting because going back to Comey, of course, what did they ask him about? WikiLeaks. Yeah. And he, of course, is not a WikiLeaks guy.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't like the WikiLeaks. And he did this stepping thing, and I'm no big fan of Comey, by the way, but it's the which evil would you like? What's the worst of 2 evils? And he was basically saying that no, he supports whistleblowers, he supports people, but he also doesn't like things like WikiLeaks that put people in danger or whatever. Right. And he used the phrase, and it just hit me. And it's interesting. The press didn't pick up on this. They picked up on his "I felt nauseous."
Right. Yeah.
He called it intelligence porn. He basically labeled WikiLeaks intelligence porn. I wanted to get a soundbite.
Right.
And that's pretty much what he called WikiLeaks.
Right, right.
So
when you mentioned that last night, I saw that. I was like, it made in my head. These guys
want to watch some intelligence porn,
right? Because I immediately in my head, you got these guys down in the basement of the CIA, down in Langley, right? They're down in some sub basement somewhere watching stag films of the Zapruder film, right?
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So how much of intelligence and spycraft is plain porn? Now, I don't mean like porn in the literal sense. It could be. But really, and this is where freedom of speech people like myself, people who are like, hey, let's have less secret. Yes, you have to have national secrets, but also there are things that you need to put
a little transparency wouldn't be bad.
You get 1984 or United States of America. Which do you choose?
Well, especially when we're talking systemic, like deep state stuff.
Deep state stuff, and the criticism of intelligence and spycraft is that it is intelligence porn. That they're gathering so much information, irrelevant information about your personal habits and things. Sure. Now they can be used against you, right?
Sure.
So like if you're doing bad things, like you're a counter spy, you're getting nuclear secrets and stuff, and you do it. We all know what that is.
Sure.
That's intelligence, that's spycraft, that's, that we have had famous cases with people stealing nuclear information.
Rosenberg's.
Well, I'm thinking of the naval
Alger Hiss,
the naval folks in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
That the family that were doing all the submarine secrets.
Right.
I can't.
Trident, right?
Yeah, I can't remember the name. It doesn't pop in my head, but very, very famous and major counterintelligence.
Google it.
Counterintelligence. The Walkers. I think it's the Walkers.
I think you're right.
The Walkers, who it wasn't just the
Walker
dad,
family,
like,
right?
Yeah, and they were stealing like the submarine secrets and giving it to the Russians, the Soviet Union at the time.
Yeah.
Big deal, right? Bad. See,
exactly.
So anyway, so there's that. But if you're just like constantly like looking in someone's life, there's just a lot of irrelevant stuff and picadillos and craziness that goes on. And I think that some of these people who get into this, that's what they like. They like to, what are you doing now? What's your habits? So
I can see that.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think that that's kind of intelligent porn. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting soundbite.
Just hitting the news aggregator, see if there's any last minute sort of.
I was going to ask, what are the folks in college thinking about the WikiLeaks and what about the election? Where's people stand on the Hillary Clinton and the Trump thing?
Well, there's
what are they saying out there?
Most of the people that I talk to that are liberals, so they tend to.
You live in Oregon.
Yeah. The Portland area. Most of them voted for either Bernie, Hillary.
Sure.
And there's a few proud conservative Trump voters that'll wear their T-shirts, their hats, and stuff.
But do they think that Hillary Clinton, the election was stolen from her?
I think so. I believe she won the popular vote.
She did
by 1 million.
But a little over 3 million.
3 million. Yeah. Okay, right. Thank you. And
again, like we like to say, that's a bulk of that is a lot of California. So.
And I think Trump, he won the electoral, and that's what comes first. It's like whatever comes first. Hey, there's the winner. And
the Electoral College
chooses
the president.
Yeah,
270.
Yeah, and
so
some of my friends they think if it just mattered on the popular vote, Hillary would have won it for sure.
Well, that's always the debate when these things happen. I mean, Gore Bush was the big. That was the one that was big one.
The hanging Chads and the whole Florida debacle and. So So it's they'd prefer a popular vote. You think?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Maybe maybe there's something to that. I mean, we talk about the reason the Electoral College is for states representative, because if you live in a small state with if you live in New Hampshire or Iowa or whatever, which are critical places, in the early days of election, they don't have a voice, as opposed to California or New York or Florida or Ohio or places like that. But maybe with them, the more I think about it now, I mean, I kind of defended the Electoral College in this last election. Not that it turns out my way, but understanding the reasoning behind it. But the more I think about it now, the way we are so mobile and connected in the United States, maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, there are plus and minuses on both sides. I see valid arguments.
Maybe it should be a popular vote.
And I think where the real the problem is with the Electoral College, at least nowadays, is when you have a discrepancy of over 3 million. I mean, it is a clear cut.
Yeah.
I mean, with Bush and Gore, you had a plus and minus of like 550,000.
Right.
And it's like razor edge thin.
Yeah.
But when you're talking 3 million.
But again, the people would say that's all West Coast. That's all.
But on the other hand, they're going to California can say, listen. So what? We live in California. I mean, we're still citizens of the United States. We have our vote, and 3 million of us voted.
Arguably, the argument I've heard on that side, California is like, hey, we got a lot of the economy of the United States right here in this state. We're participating in the import, export, and the...
If California was to secede out of the Union, if California woke up one day and said, I'm out, peace out, they would literally have the sixth, they would have the sixth largest budget and GDP in the whole world. Right. That's the sixth, right? That's huge. So you can't just say, California, you're just one state. Who are you guys to decide of whatever? It's like, well, there's a significant portion of the American population that lives in California, and
we're back to the election stuff. It's because we didn't have a turning left this week.
No, I know. I got all stuff bottled in, right? I got some big stuff coming down on Wednesday, too. Good stuff.
So we got to wrap this up. But,
let's wrap it up.
One of the things is U.S. Department of Justice is looking into Uber.
Right.
That's this... you know what this was? This was that gray ball, which they did in Portland because they were being pushed out of Portland until the... good old city council caved in. This gray ball program, which basically told Uber when officials, and this happened in Portland, so this will I'm sure there's Portland information here. When officials would go onto the Uber app to get an Uber in order to catch people in the act. They had this thing called a gray ball program, which was able to identify that and cancel the Uber so that they wouldn't get in trouble. So the U.S. Justice Department, that's the big tech headline, is looking into this.
Interesting.
Good on you, Uber.
Watch the space.
Oh, yeah. And in the happy news at the end here. Okay. Well, happy and unhappy. It's the end of the Cassini mission. 20 years, baby. 20 years, or thereabouts. This thing launched in the late 90s. I forgot. This is that probe that's orbiting Saturn. And
went through the rings and everything.
Just went through the rings in the last week and just finding out crazy stuff. And the deal is the fuel is almost out. Yeah. And so they're going to crash it down into Saturn. And you're like, why are you crashing a probe down into Saturn? The deal is they want to crash it into Saturn because there's moons there that we've talked about before, Titan and some others that could have evidence of life on them. We haven't studied them yet. Right. And you don't want to contaminate. The fear is we don't want to have a space probe that comes from Earth and accidentally contaminate those worlds. This is the problem with actually exploring and looking for life. This is a thing that NASA wrestles with, is we want to look for life, but we also don't want to bring it with us because
taking our baggage with us.
Exactly, because that's not exactly going to be good science.
No.
So in order to not do that, we want to drive the thing down into and have it kill itself in Saturn, poor thing. And so as part of that, it's been flying through the rings of Saturn. It's getting the closest up pictures. I'll try to put this one up here. Oh, is that the one? Close-up pictures. That looks like the moon. I don't know if we see it here. Ooh,
yeah,
some good stuff. Here's some. Oh, here's a slideshow here. There's like some. This is and I still can pronounce that enceladus, with these plumes of water coming off of it. There's a picture of that little speck up there is Earth. These are actual pictures, plumes of ice, which some good things. This is an image of Titan. This one blew me away. I just saw this last night. That is the moon Titan. That's the largest moon of Saturn. It's not quite Earth size, but it's significantly sized moon. So one of the possible colonies, and you see the weather there. I believe that's the methane. That's the one that has a methane atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at these now live. Yeah. This is the North Pole of Saturn, and there you go. Take a look at that. That's what the actual North Pole of Saturn looks like. And you see there's this right here, this weird eye, like a vortex, literally a vortex inside of Saturn. You know, Saturn's a gas giant. Well, it's like Jupiter has all these clouds and gases going around. So there's a giant, and we're talking giant. We're talking Earth plus size. Remember, Saturn's a very, very large planet. Right. So there's a giant vortex. What in the heck's in there? And the other thing is, on the North Pole, there's this perfect hexagon. And scientists are trying to figure out, why is it a hexagon? I mean, it's a round planet. So they're trying to sort out what is making this hexagon. And this, I mean, that's just crazy. That is a live, I'm just looking at that.
Right.
2013, great, Doc. You're really up on things. But these are the closest photos that we have of Saturn.
Right, yeah.
To date, because this is the closest thing to Saturn. So, and as it dives into the atmosphere, we're gonna it'll send some pictures back before it goes. I think the one thing that they figured out is as it flew through the ring, it flew through like the space between the rings,
right?
And so it kind of oriented itself with its antenna so it wouldn't get hit from things because it's flying through fast. So if you get hit by pebbles and stuff, it could destroy your spacecraft.
Sure.
That's how fast you're going. And they found out that it was actually, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff in between the rings at all. And there's some photographs too of these things that were discovered. I remember when they discovered them the first time, these little moons that fly between the rings called shepherd moons, and their gravitational pull kind of twists them into these braids. So if you go online, you'll see these weird braids and things, and that's these little moon little things that kind of influence them. There's some crazy new pictures there, but I don't know. Is there anything you've been following it a little bit, Jason? Or?
Yeah, very cool though. I mean,
1997 was it? Like 20 years.
Culmination of a 2-decade journey. And, just fascinating stuff that just literally still finding out about it, and it makes me it's a mixed bag for me because it makes me feel, especially with the lack of I know SpaceX is doing their thing and they're trying to further themselves, but it's such a mixed bag to me. It gets me very sad about NASA and why aren't we being a little bit more aggressive in the space program, because so much innovation, so much technology, so much science comes out of every time we focus
I think we're getting there. I mean, there was you did see back to politics quickly.
Yeah.
That there was some budgetary tussling, but the one thing Congress did do is make sure that they didn't kill the science budget. So,
right. Yeah.
So
we'll see what goes on. I mean, the very preliminary tax reform stuff was set off by the healthcare. It's you got to think of it as like a chain reaction. In order to make the bigger tax breaks in the future, you have to take care of the healthcare part of the taxes first, because it's like 1/6 of our economy. And get ready for now the news. That's the next round. That's when you're going to see stuff like the National Endowments of the Arts and Humanities, OPB, even maybe NASA go.
I am trying to end on a high note, and Jason takes
and I
it
just
right
spike it right into Saturn, right?
back to Congress and the tax and stuff.
You want a good happy ending. Here's your happy ending. It is the 5th of May. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Get out there, enjoy yourself.
I'm actually going to get out there
And have some fun.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to get out there.
Yeah.
Talk about Vortex in Portland, if you'd like. And we still haven't talked about the Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, yeah.
So tonight is the Mads from Mystery Science Theater, from the original Mystery Science Theater, down at the Alberta Rose Theater.
That's right.
And I'm going to go and check them out. That's Dr. Forrester and TV's Frank. So I'm real excited about that.
Yeah.
And I think this is all kind of as part of the Bridgetown.
Oh, the Bridgetown,
Bridgetown Comedy Festival. And then on Sunday, the new cast of Mystery Science Theater at Revolution Hall. Yeah.
That's right.
You can check that out, the new cast. So we got like a whole Mystery Science Theater weekend, and I'm a big Mystery Science Theater 3000 geek, so I can't wait.
Speaking of the Bridgetown Comedy Festival, Portland's own Amanda Arnold.
Yeah.
Is going to have a pretty featured spot on the Bridgetown schedule. I'm just happy, and of course,
is that this weekend?
That's this weekend. Of course, we love Amanda.
Yep.
And I'm glad.
Tons of stuff. Just go up and
check it out.
Google the Bridgetown Comedy Festival, and there's just tons of stuff. Old Patton Oswald, who's actually has a role in the new Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he played the Schnitzer a few days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That went right. That went right by me.
Part of the festival.
Told you how out of touch I am and stuff.
I know. Well, we've all been a little bit busy on our own personal hells.
Well, yeah. Things are looking up, though. Things are looking up.
Comedy Festival. I'm going to Mystery Science Theater out this weekend. So
there you go.
That'll make me happy. What do you got going this weekend, Jesse?
Homework.
Yeah.
Homework. All
right.
Homework. Anything exciting?
Gotcha.
Looking forward to? Take us out.
No, this weekend I'm just gonna work on my communications presentation for ACL tears to sports athletes, and then I got some history homework I got to catch up on, and just working, and that's about it.
All right. Well.
All right.
Say good night, everybody. Have a good weekend. Don't go crazy on the. Don't overdo the tequila.
Right.
Tonight. Okay.
Right.
Just to note.
No. Just quick PSA. No puking in your sombrero.
Oh.
That's out.
Big mistake.
Okay.
That's a faux pas.
I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.